So today I want to remind you that you have a choice to make, and your choices carry weight. You can choose today to continue down the road less traveled towards true life fulfillment, or you could choose to settle at short-term gratification. I want you to achieve fulfillment in your life, not just to be successful. I want you to be successful too, but the truth is there's a difference. You see, success is really the accomplishment of a thing. It's a position, a possession, or a level of prominence. Fulfillment, on the other hand, is being something. I would argue that a lot of us have achieved things. We are successful, but we're not fulfilled. I truly believe, and walk with me closely, that success without fulfillment is torment. Let me say it a different way. Success without peace is torment. Because having the ability to accomplish things around you, but no matter what you accomplish around you, it can't seem to accomplish the thing that you need inside of you. The peace, the posture, the poise, the happiness, the joy. To enjoy the fruits of your labor is counterproductive. So today I want to help you to understand that the difference between achieving true fulfillment in your life versus continuing to settle at just happiness, short-term gratification, is directly connected to your willingness to choose to pursue difficult on a daily basis. Here's the title for our time today, family. Redefining difficult. Let's go to work. Woo. So what I want us to understand today is that our programming, our cognitive wiring to some degree, is to resist anything that may appear to be difficult when it's perceived to be a threat to us. Let me say it in a different way. That oftentimes our brain is hardwired to protect us from things that may be perceived as a threat to us, things that may seem difficult as we are going and pursuing and doing our best to achieve. But if we're really going to achieve anything of substance, if we're not just going to be successful, but if we're going to be fulfilled in the process of life, if we're going to understand that the absolute worst life to live is a half-lived one, if we're not just going to settle at good enough, but we're going to truly accomplish great. If we're going to understand that, yes, sometimes it's okay to be okay, but it's never okay to just stay okay. If we're really going to accomplish more, we must understand that there's a direct connection between difficult, or what you choose to pursue that is difficult on a day-to-day basis, and achieving true fulfillment in your life. There is no way that we can ultimately get to what we desire to achieve and who we desire to become at our greatest level if we don't make a conscious decision to choose to lean into and pursue what is difficult. You know, one of the difficult things for me in my own life has been really getting in great physical shape. I kind of live this seesaw or this roller coaster ride as it pertains to my fitness. I mean, one season I'm lean, I'm trim, I'm ready to go. Come on, y'all. But in another season, let's just say I am, how can we put this in a really, really nice way? I'm pleasantly plump. The truth is, it's been a struggle. It's been a war. It has been a battle for me to get in shape. But this morning, I made the decision again that we're going to get back up and go again. That's really a powerful decision because oftentimes I believe that most of us choose failure because we choose not to get up again after we have fallen off from what we desire to achieve or what we desire to do. Really quickly, that may be a nugget and really a reminder or maybe even some permission to somebody watching this to get up and go again. So this morning I'm on the treadmill. Y'all call it the treadmill. I call it the threatmill because sometimes that thing threatens my life. Come on, y'all. I was on the treadmill this morning and my goal was to attempt to run a mile straight. And I started off running this mile at a suitable speed. I'm not going to mention the speed here because I don't need y'all judging me, but it was suitable for me. Listen to me. You got to understand your process, all right? So I'm running, and in the beginning of my journey towards running on this treadmill, I felt great. I felt like I was in great shape. I felt like I had the perseverance or really the capacity that was necessary to complete this full mile. So I kept running, turning up the music in my headphones to some of my favorite hits. I kept moving. I'm running on this treadmill. Yes, physically, I'm not actually changing my geographical state, but y'all, I'm burning some calories. There's a window right in front of me, people passing by. My chest is poked out. I'm like, we about to get this thing done. But about a few minutes into my journey, I realized I started to feel a sharp pain somewhere around my lungs, and I fabricated this entire story in my mind that I was about to die. But I knew that the pain was an indication that I was not conditioned for what I was demanding of my body to do. You know, the body is such an intricate thing, how the body really responds to our choice. You see, when we choose to eat and we choose to do what we do and not demand that our body stay in shape, our body expands as its way of making sure that it has the capacity to sustain what we're giving to it. Come on, y'all. But in the same way, when we show up and we perform and we eat right and we push our body past its current limits, it then adjusts and forms muscles and sheds weight as a way to follow the choices that we're asked, that we're giving it to make. We're making the choice. Our body is then choosing to adjust to really be able to fulfill the choices that we make. Such a powerful thing. But I knew I was not conditioned for what I was asking my body to do. And so I had a decision in that moment. The decision was, do I persevere towards this goal of accomplishing 1 mile so I can feel like I'm making the necessary steps back to my rightful place, back to the place that I would be where I was running 3 miles every morning in my fit season? Or do I hit the little red button that's right in front of me that says stop and get off the treadmill quickly? I had a choice to make at that moment. Here's the truth. If I had the ability to design treadmills, I'd probably put that stop button somewhere that was hard to reach. But maybe that's why I'm not designing treadmills, or I would possibly kill people. So it's so interesting that in that moment I had a choice to make. And you would think this was about 0.75 miles into my journey. It was more like 0.25 miles into my journey. But y'all, I was hurting. But in the middle of that hurt, I had a decision to make. Do I hit the button and get off because hitting the button was easy and getting off was easy? Or do I continue to do the difficult thing of pushing myself towards that mile? Let's just say I persevered. I did the difficult thing to accomplish that goal. And the reason I want to share the story with you, because I really believe in this life, maybe for you it's not running on a treadmill, but maybe for you it's something else. Maybe for you it's forgiving. Maybe for you it's leaning into that dream. Maybe for you it's showing up to that job and serving in such a way that you give your all to something that maybe you don't always agree with. We all have our degree of difficulty. But what I want to help us to do today is to really redefine difficult, is to understand some principles that I believe that if we don't grasp and if we don't lean into, we will delay or even to some degree diminish or even deny our fulfillment because we're not willing on a daily basis to choose difficult. I got off the treadmill after that 1 mile and it kind of hit me. And it really leans into our first principle that I want to share with you today. And I want to share this principle with you because I think it is so powerful and something that we have to understand. Principle number 1, if we're going to redefine difficult, is this. There are only 2 types of difficult, my friend. The one you choose and the one life chooses for you. Ooh, let me say it again. That what I realized this morning coming off of that treadmill, yes, it would have been easy to hit the stop button. It would have been easy to jump off the treadmill. It was difficult to persevere. But it was an illusion, because even though it was easy to press the button, the truth is I would have, by pressing that easy button, chose to not do the difficult thing and inevitably cause life to choose the difficult thing for me. The difficult thing of diabetes. Come on, y'all. The difficult thing of having a heart that doesn't work, the difficult thing of not being in great mental shape, the difficult thing that would happen as a result of not choosing to do the difficult thing. Can I help you to remember this principle today, that there are only two types of difficult: the difficult that you choose, or the difficult that life chooses for you. I don't know about you, but today I decide, and I'm making a decision to choose my difficult. The difficult of going and growing and pursuing and stretching and putting myself in uncomfortable positions. For some of us, it may be choosing the difficult of saving so that you're not dealing with the difficult of being broke. Come on in here, y'all. It might be choosing the difficult of studying so that you don't have to choose the difficult of having to accept something that you believe is below your capacity. It might be the difficult of pursuing that business idea and leaning into that thing versus the difficult of wondering what would have happened had you made the decision to hunt your dreams. I'm getting warmed up in here. Can I tell you something today? You're either going to hunt your dreams, or your dreams will turn into nightmares and haunt you. Let me say it again for somebody. You will either hunt your dreams, your desired, your state, or your dreams will turn into nightmares and haunt you. That's principle number one. I got two more, then I'm out of here. The second thing that I want us to understand is that difficult is intimate. Ooh, that's so good. Difficult is intimate. We can believe that difficult is universal, meaning that what is difficult for one is difficult for all. But the truth is hard to the person experiencing it. Wow. Hard is hard to the person experiencing it. You see, what is easy for you may be difficult for others, but what is easy to others may be difficult for you. I know, hearing my story about running a mile, you could be judging me like, Jovan, a mile, that's not that much. That may be easy for you, but what may be difficult for you is a bit easier for me, like going into uncertainty with certainty, or forgiving people who hurt me, or letting go so that I can have the capacity to receive. You see, difficult is intimate. And so what I don't want us to do is to be fooling ourselves, or to fool ourselves into believing because we're doing what's difficult to others well, that we're actually addressing our own difficulties. We live in a world and a time where we have become the greatest judges of other people's flaws, but the greatest lawyers of our own. We live in a day and time where we're so quick to judge other people's difficulties based on how we respond to that specific difficulty. But if we really introspect, if we're really leaning into humility, if we're really ready to grow, if we don't want to miss the opportunity to experience a transformation, we must be honest and transparent about the areas in our life that may be difficult to us, the area that may be difficult to you, to actually focus on you, to mind your business. Come on, y'all. So that ultimately you can actually lean into the thing that you need to address to go to the next level. Can I simplify this a little bit more? For somebody who may not have the means and resources, maybe ideas and concepts and growing may be difficult to them. But to a rich man, difficult may look like serving people, killing the ego, the things that are necessary. You know what difficult looks like for you. So principle number two, I want us to understand and lean into this. Difficult is intimate. I was talking to one of my great friends this morning, and he said something to me that's so paramount. He said, intimacy is into me, you see. Ooh, intimacy is into me, you see. So if difficult is intimate, it's really understanding that difficult is not seeing into me, stop minding my business, but into you, gaining the level of awareness as to where you need to address, what you need to address, so that ultimately you can grow. I love that. Number one, again, that there are only two types of difficult: the difficult you choose, or the difficult that chooses you. Number two is that difficult is intimate. You must be honest and aware of what difficult looks like for you. And number three, here's the one that I want to hit you with before we go. Difficult grows or diminishes based on the definition we give it. Let me say it again. That difficult will either grow or it will diminish based on the definition we give it. Your definition packs a punch. Your definition packs power. How you define a thing will determine whether it grows or whether it dies in your life. If you define showing up and doing the right thing consistently as difficult, and you're continuing to tell yourself, this is difficult, this is difficult, this is difficult, versus this is necessary for me to achieve my desires or my goals, how you define a thing will determine whether it grows or whether it dies. Your words matter. And your words and your definition are really coming from your perspective. And oftentimes we can go into looking at a difficult thing through this lens, or looking at a thing through a lens that continues to feed it as a difficult thing, and we will ultimately avoid it. But what if we changed our language today? What if we changed our lens? What if we looked at the thing that is difficult and we didn't feed that thing as being difficult, but we fed it as being an opportunity that is necessary, or a path that's necessary for us to achieve our desires or desired state, or for us to really be fulfilled in our life? A lot of times our definitions of a thing, it really stem from past experiences. It stems from family members. It stems from, get your language right, Jovan. It has come from things that have been spoken about you or even to you. But today, I want you to take back the driver's seat and the steering wheel of your own destiny. I want you to not allow your power to be given. Can I tell you something? Power cannot be taken. Autonomy cannot be taken. It can only be given. People don't take your autonomy away. You choose to give it up. And so what I want to remind you today is that you still have it. Woo! You still have it. And if you will see it, if you will use it, if you will think it, if you will speak it, then you will be empowered with the confidence and courage you need to pursue difficult daily. If on a day-to-day basis, you're not pursuing something that is difficult to you, you're not dying in an area that's difficult to you. Can I go deep here on a thought? Everybody is focused on being the best. My focus on a day-to-day basis is being my best, because you can become first place in a turtle race and believe that you're doing your best. But what I want to help us to understand today is when we shift from just competition to capacity, we can achieve the unimaginable. Competition should give us a point of reference, but never a point of focus. Come on. Because when it becomes the point of focus, it will become a ceiling on our lives. But when we focus on our capacity in growing and becoming and achieving, then we take ownership. We take ownership of the difficult area in our lives so that ultimately we can achieve our destiny. I want you to remember these principles. I want you to redefine difficult simply by understanding, number one, that there are only two types of difficult. There's the difficult that you choose and the difficult that chooses you. Number two is that difficult is intimate. Knowing that what is difficult to others may not necessarily be difficult to you. And don't be focused so much on what you do well that others struggle at, but focus on what you struggle at that others may do well. And number three, I want you to really grasp this, family. And I don't want you to forget the third principle here, is that difficult grows or dies based on the definition we give it. And y'all, if your mind can conceive this today, and your heart will believe it, then your hands can create the life, the impact, the legacy, the fulfillment that you desire. Go out today and do something difficult. Let's go.